Hi guys, so today I'm going to talk about a little bit of my video. So here I'm just setting up a little video for me to demonstrate how the masking works. And the whole point is that it won't capture the video playing, but only the movement inside the door. So as you can see, I'm starting to run my code over here. And that's the masked image of the door. Now this music goes on for a little bit, so please bear with me. As you can see, it captures the point where the image comes in and the video continues to play and doesn't show any detection on this region on the right where the cabinet is. And now it's going to reset to masked image. And now this is the recorded video. The frame rates is a little choppy. Unfortunately, that's just how the timing delay affects the frame rate. But it records the 23-second video about. And you can see that it goes to my email, and I get the first image and the second image. And these images are about 30 milliseconds apart. So you can see there is some slight change in movement. Image 1, image 2. Now I'm going to go into a short demonstration of my code. Okay, so now I'm going to walk through a little bit of my code and generally talk about my thought process in choosing different delays, different ways of implementation, and things I would have done to improve this project. So just a quick look back. I set up my project in front of my bedroom door using just a laptop that was set on a table. The code that I use was just one Python script with everything on top of it. And just going to the functions that we've used, we use SMTP for emailing. Different modules that I use, SMTP for emailing, and then the time function to measure the difference in the intervals. Those are the new things I've added into the script. So just going to the code has the capture settings set to be your webcam. I have a function that is used for masking. And something that I did was to decrease the width to 300 pixels wide, and that actually made the image a lot smaller and a lot more processable. When I applied that with a 11 by 11 kernel, it made the blurring pretty uniform, and it worked well in the uniform lighting conditions I had in front of my door. For the image pixel threshold I use for my compare images function, I chose a threshold of 20, and that was because I really wanted it to be kind of like a hair trigger where when the door slightly opened up, it would detect it right away and it'll start recording right after that. And this is just like the function that adds up those pixels comparisons. And I also fine-tuned it to, I think the threshold was 15,000. Yeah, and that's just the slight difference that I found through testing. This is just my email function, and that's done with SMTP and the Python module and using that Gmail app code. And my main function, this is how I did my time delays. Basically, what I would do is have it iterate through every frame in the camera, and it would take an interval of 30 milliseconds between two images. And 30 milliseconds was chosen because the human perceivable motion was started at 3 milliseconds, and I gradually increased from there. That also corresponded with the least amount of interruption to my video recording that I later found out. And so the video onto the video recording, I recorded a 21 to 23 second video. using a time interval that it would measure once it detected that there was a difference in the two images. It would start recording from there. And then I would save those two images and then email them to my this email that I inputted in my email function. So in terms of things I could have improved in this project, I know I talked about potentially doing some type of multi-threaded application where instead of waiting for it to detect and see if something's there, I could try to record a little bit before even something is detected and record after, and then take those recordings and correspond them to a function which would look for when something truly started. So kind of like the way police body cams kind of work like that. So I would do that something similar in that regard. And I would probably want to play around a little bit more with the time delays. I wasn't entirely sure why I couldn't get a precise number, like a precise time frame for my video. It would always be a little bit more than I would expect. And let's see, what did I forget? Oh, and hardware. I would probably want something that is, of course, with a wider camera. I mean, a laptop camera kind of sucks. You want something with a wider camera. And then, of course, you would have to account for any distortions that something like a fisheye lens or a wide angle lens would apply to your image. So I would definitely use a bigger image, something with a lot more aperture, a bigger aperture, so that allows more light in. So that would be really helpful, especially in low light application. Like when it's dark outside, it would work really well.